Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I wasn't planning on doing this one just yet, but I have that little pond that I did last year. If you guys were around the channel not that long, doing that again this year, doing some different stuff with it, plant-wise, and they are not here yet. So we're gonna try this. Never done it before. One of my neighbors gave me this tall, I think it was a pickle jar. I do have the lid, but we're going to try and make a terrarium. Never done it before, so not entirely sure I exactly know what I'm doing on this. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll just take it apart and try it again. Some of the inspiration for this comes from some other YouTube channels out there. I'm sure you guys have seen them. We'll just see what happens. So I've got my lava rock. That's what I'm going to be using for the base layer. I know there are other things that you can put down there, and I can't think of what they're called right now, but I've got a bunch of lava rock. I've got a whole bag of it. So I'm going to try using that, and that's probably way too much for this, but whatever. I've got my little nutrient layer ready to go here in these cups. I guess sometimes I forget to look at the camera and see if I'm pointing where you guys can see. Move this real quick. Then we have some moss. There's actually two things of moss there. I'm sure way more than I need. And then I have no idea what this is, but I like how it looks. So I've got a little clump of that. And then obviously this jar is way too small for a bunch of this, but I have, let's see, this is Fritonia, and again, way too big for this little thing, but I have this rosy maidenhair fern, and I'm thinking I should be able to pull a small little clump of that off as well, in theory, right? Never done it before. So we've got that, and I do have a couple little rocks just to add some visual interest, I guess, to it. But that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to see if I can come up with something that, looks even remotely good. And then I also wanted to take a minute to talk about the coloring book again. I know I've mentioned it before. If you're new to the channel, I did a coloring book. It is on Amazon. It is, I think I've got the price set at $6.99 for it. There are 30 images in the book, and they start off with relatively simple things. As you can see, I've been coloring in myself. And then as you get further on in the book, there are more and more intricate photos that you can color in that have just more things in there. And then when you get to the back, there are more aquascape lake designs in there for you. So if you'd be so kind to purchase one of these, I would absolutely love it. It'd be supporting the channel and be supporting my growth with the different tanks and different designs and doing goofy stuff like this where I've never tried it before. So I appreciate the support for those of you who have already purchased it. If you did already purchase it, shamelessly asking you to go on and leave a rating on there. And if I can get this one moving, I've already got a thought for a second one. If you have ideas on what you would like to see in a coloring book, leave a comment, because I'm open to different ideas. So let me know. But I think we should get started on the project. So let's get going. Yeah, it's recording. Okay, so let's get some stuff in here. got the lava rock. I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to put in there, but I've got a good bunch of it. So, now I should point out, I really don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've ever done one, so I know that there's usually a layer down in the bottom for water. When you're actually watering it, you want a layer down at the bottom so that it can drain some of that liquid out of your soil, so you don't. I guess so you're not overwatering it. If you're watching this and you've done something like this before and you actually know what you're talking about, feel free to tell me. Feel free to educate us in the comments here, because I will be more than happy to have that education. So I know there's other stuff that you can use, but I have the lava rocks, that's what I'm using. And yeah, it's kind of sort of flat. Okay, so I've got my little, alright, it's a decent sized layer actually. It's probably a lot deeper than it needs to be, but it's a great big tall jar, so I'm not too worried about seeing the different layers. I'm going to be using, I don't know if you can kind of see that, it's a little piece of screen material that I've got. That's going to be between the lava rock layer and my little soil layer that I'll be putting in here. And eventually I'm going to have to start doing this with the tweezers, but for now, alright. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this short of just dumping some in. And I don't really know how big of a layer I want, so let's just dump some more in. And I've got some extra in there. Now I am sloping it. I'm going to try and, it helps if I show you in the camera, huh? I'm going to try and slope it up in the back because there's this stuff on the, I don't know if you can even see that, from where the label was on the jar here. And I kind of don't want to see that, so I'll be sloping it up here in the back. And I'm probably going to put some more in. So here's where we start running out of room. I've got these rocks to put in there, but they are going to be, like if I put that one in there, it's going to take up a huge space in there. So I've got 5 of them. I'm definitely not going to be using all 5. It's just going to be too much. You won't be able to put any of the little plants in there. So, let me get a little bit more of this. Well, let's just go ahead and dump it all in. Why not? It just means I can ramp it up in the back a little bit higher here, right? So, I really like how this one looks. And I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with it. Will I be able to do what I want to do with it is an entirely different story. I really like that one. I've got an idea in my head is what it boils down to, but I don't really have a plan. So, you know, if you're one of those people that does these and you've got a plan, you can, you know, write it out or plan it exactly. Great. I'm not one of those people though. So, yeah, kind of thinking this one. So I'm going to kind of use these rocks almost like a little retaining wall for the extra soil that's here in the back, so that that back section is going to be taller. I don't know if you can... Man, I'm not doing a very good job of showing this in the camera today, am I? So it's going to kind of keep that section higher in the back. At least that's the thought. So we're not going to use these rocks for the moment. And, I mean, as simple as this is going to be, it's probably about time for me to get some of the moss and stuff in there. Now I've got a couple different chunks of moss here. And if you know your moss types, feel free to tell me what they are. I kind of like how this one looks better. And just putting that little bit of moss in there just instantly, that bit of green, makes a difference. Now I am not sure what kind of moss this is, but I know it is a moss. But it looks like little trees, and I thought it'd look cool in here. So, like that. I've got some that I can put a little bit on each side. There's a nice boy, it's all in little clumps falling apart on me here. I think this is where the tweezers are going to come in. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Well, I'll tell you guys that do these terrariums all the time, you guys make this look easy. I can tell you that right now. This is not as easy as it looks watching other people do it on YouTube. Alright, so what I'm trying to do, if you guys can see in there, is give a little bit of... I thought they kind of looked like little trees. For a little bit of height in the front there, but not too much. And then I've got the plants here in the back. So let me get a couple pieces of those out, and that's what's going to be in the background back here. So it'll be taller in the back, this little bit of shorter stuff in the front. So let me get those out real quick. I'll be right back with you. Alright, I'm back, and I've successfully made a mess on the table, but that's okay. So I've got let me pull a couple of these leaves off that don't look so good. But I've got my little fern here. I've got another small one to go on the other side. So I'm gonna try and get this in here without messing everything up. Yeah, that's gonna give it some instant height. And I've got a much smaller one here for the other side. I don't know why I didn't just turn that around the first time. It's a lot easier to see. And then I've got this little Fatonia that probably has way more dirt on it than it needs to. But and it is stuck to my tweezers now. And you guys that do this all the time makes this look easy. Try and grab some good pieces of moss here. Alright, so it's not perfect, but I'll get my mess cleaned up here, and then I'll get you some shots that maybe show a little bit better what I was attempting to do here. So give me a second to clean up the disaster, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, table's cleaned up. I don't know if you guys can see what I was kind of going for there. I was trying to have the moss here, and then I've got whatever this type of moss is kind of along the rocks. Some more over here, and then in the background we've got the taller fern on either side. There's some moss in there that's a little harder to see because it is so dark under there, and then the Fatonia. And if I zoom out just a little bit, hey, look at that, you can see South Park in the background. Yeah, so if I zoom out here, you can see that we're several inches away from the top, but I was trying to fill out the jar, and I think having those taller plants in the background has done it. So I need to water it, and that is spray bottle here. I'll do that here in a second. What I'm going to do is I will go ahead and do that and put the jar where it's going to go. It's going to go right beside my little bowl that has the couple shrimp in it, right on my desk, so it'll be right there for me to see every day. And I'll get some final shots of it sitting over there for you. I know a lot of the people who are more expert in this will crumple up some leaves and stuff, make it look a little bit more realistic, and they'll put in things like springtails. I've never done anything with those before. If you have done terrariums before and you're thinking that that is something that I really need to do, or there's something else that I could put in there, that would help the little ecosystem here, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to learn some more about this, but this is what I've come up with for this particular jar. I appreciate you sticking around this far, and if you haven't already, hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this terrarium type stuff. I do have a few more videos planned. I'm going to be doing something with my 20-gallon tank that you guys have not seen, especially not on my channel. And I mean the tank, you haven't seen the tank on my channel. And I've got a little outdoor, I'm gonna call it a pond. It's more of a container that I put water in. But I've got that coming, and then I've got a little paludarium that I had the little tadpoles in that grew out to little froglets last year. Redoing that this year with something completely different. So if you want to see those kind of videos, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel. Don't forget, links are going to be down below for the coloring book here, this thing. Anybody who did purchase it, I appreciate you supporting the channel. And I'm just going to stop talking, get this water in, put this everywhere it's going to be on my desk, and then we'll see you again here on the next one. Alright, got it watered. It's over here on the desk now, and just wanted to say thanks again for watching the video. If you made it this far, definitely thank you. And if you have any ways that I could possibly improve this, or take care of this as I learn something new here, feel free to drop it in the comments, and I will see you again the next time around.